Hello and welcome to this Nuzlocke run of Pokémon Yellow. I am your host, Betriomania, and I will basically be summarising these first 8 updates that were previously only recorded as a slideshow. Now just to run through the rules of a Nuzlocke run, in case you aren't already familiar with them, there are basically 2 primary rules. 1. If a Pokémon faints even once, it is unusable and must be released. Basically, the Pokémon has died. 2. You are only allowed to catch the first wild Pokémon encountered in each route, cave, structure, etc. And that is it. If that wild Pokémon is not caught, that route cannot be used to catch another Pokémon. Hence the word challenge. I figure this will stop me from just using all the overused and legendary Pokémon and maybe help me find a new appreciation for some of the lesser used ones. Then again, it is only Generation 1, so probably not. Also, prior knowledge of Pokémon is assumed. I won't go into too much detail about the plot points, given there's only 3 of them, so if you don't want the storyline of Pokémon spoiled if you haven't played it before, I know, all 2 of you in the world, this probably isn't the video for you. We are naming our character Betrium after a hilarious misinterpretation at a coffee shop about 5 years ago. My real name was somehow misinterpreted to Betrium, which is something I've never heard before. And I guess it kinda stuck. First things first, we leave home, talk to Mother, because she always says all boys leave home someday, according to the television, and we head on down to Oak's laboratory, where we find his grown son, Arsehat. Yep. We had originally called him Lethy, but I think Arsehat just works out to be a superior choice. Oak isn't here, so if he's not around, well then I guess we should wander into Viridian City. Maybe he's up that way. Oh wait! Pokémon? In my tall grass? It's more likely than you think. Basically, we head back to the lab after Oak catches Pikachu like a boss, and Arsehat ends up being an Arsehat and taking the Eevee that was given to us. So instead, we get the short end of the stick and end up with a Pikachu. So, with a number of suggestions from various friends, and, well, actually, it's just friends, we come up with the name Brontias for our Pikachu. So I'll probably end up nicknaming him Thunderbutt halfway through. As you can see from the stat screen, good with speed, not so good with defense, like every Pikachu ever. So at least we're working off the special stat for now with Thundershock. Anyway, now that we've got ourselves Pokemon, it's time to go on an adventure, or not. Because, yep, good damn it, we hadn't had time to train. Yep, Arsehat's about right. Arsehat wants to fight. This battle, our first battle, doesn't actually last too long though. Eevee used Tackle about once, and then Tail Whip every other turn. I started off by using Grail, and then everything after there was Thundershock, so... yeah, managed to paralyse at the end, but it really didn't actually get to take effect, and Thunderbutt was faster anyway. And then Brontias learns Tail Whip after levelling up, which is great, because he doesn't actually have any physical moves. This is a good start. Well, Arsehat bails, and then Pikachu's a little shit, and it ends up wanting to follow around instead. Oh, off we go, and... oh man, shit's gone green, shit's gone black, and we find our first encounter for Route 1, which is the only one I'm allowed to capture. It's a Rattata, however, because we don't have any Pokeballs yet, there's no way I can capture this guy, or anything on Route 1. There will be opportunities in the future though, I'm sure. Okay, there's a guy telling us about Pokemon's and handing out free samples, and we get to the end of Route 1 with just 3 battles and 6 health loss. It's a good start. We try and head on through north. Old man is blocking the road. He's actually drunk or hungover in the Japanese versions, as opposed to, you know, hasn't had his coffee yet. So we stop by the Pokemon Center, heal those 6 points of damage, get Brontias into his Pokeball, even though they said it was impossible. Then again, he isn't very happy with us yet by the looks of things. Oh, we're heading over to the Pokemon to take advantage of those special offers that weren't mentioned at all by that informative gentleman on Route 1, but the clerk gets us to ferry back a package to Oak before he'll sell anything to us. So, back we go. Shit goes original green, shit goes purple. And, yep, sorry Oak, but we've got a package for you. It's a ball that's specifically ordered. I'm not going to ask. He then foists the Pokedex on us and tells us to get going, talking crap about, well, dreams or some such. Anyway, back to Viridian we go, encountering a single Pidgey on the way, and now we should head north to Viridian Forest. Or, let's head west. Now, because I'm only allowed to catch one Pokemon here, it has to be the first one I encounter. If I fail to catch it, either by knocking it out or not having the balls to catch it, and I can't get anything from Route 32. Here we go. And it's a male Nidoran, which we catch fairly easily, and we decide to name him Genghis, apparently because he's horny and he's horny. Thank you, Andrew. As you can see, start off at level 2 upon catch, so we decided to do a spot of leveling, so up to level 7, and Brontias is at level 10. Head on up to Route 2. Old Man tries to show us how to catch Pokemon, but because Oak's already shown us in yellow version, he actually fails so much. So much. So we go on to Route 2, and it's a Rattata, which we get quite quickly, so we call him Little Bastard. A little more training, didn't actually take any shots, but basically because we're coming up to the Rock Gym, we've got 3 Pokemon. Brontias can't actually do any non-electric damage yet, so can't do anything, despite what the anime might tell you. Genghis has just got physical moves, not the best against rock types, and Little Bastard hasn't got anything but normal moves. Yeah, we could try and go for Super Fang, but that's level 34, so maybe not. So we're hoping for a Caterpie here in Viridian Forest, and yes! There we go! Tackle, ball, and we've caught. Yep. So we're going to call our little Caterpie Ickbin, or I can't believe it's not Butterfree. So we head on further through. We have our first trainer battle, which gets off to a pretty good start, but then Ickbin almost gets taken down by a critical hit from a weak Caterpie, but we switched out to Brontias all as well. And then we take out another one, and another one, and he had a Metapod, so even though it's not a danger by itself, PP rationing's a bit rubbish, but that battle was all we needed to make him a useful Metapod without any PP to actually do anything until it's healed again. Almost got our ass handed to us by a Metapod that actually knows how to tackle, but a good change. Brontias takes care of it and learns Quick Attack. Go through, train up a little bit. Ickbin turned into a Butterfree. And if you're worried that Ickbin's no longer a valid name because it actually is a Butterfree, then I guess pretend it's really crap German, Ickbin Butterfree. And then Genghis learned Double Kick, which we totally forgot about, but that'll help us kick ass at the Rock Gym. So, let's head on through and do it. And there's a Pokemon Center that has a Jigglypuff that puts Brontias to sleep. Well, that isn't friendly, isn't it? Why don't you just ask if your handkerchief smells like chloroform? Anyway, we can't continue until we beat Brock, so let's go. The rock-solid Pokemon trainer. I don't even know where to begin with the jokes. Alright, it's our first gym. Actually kind of nervous. We've only got 2 Pokemon that can actually do normal damage or better to rock, and one of those has actually got a quadruple weakness to rock types anyway. But we use 4 Confusions and take out both Diglett and Sandshrew, so nothing to worry about. So let's head on to Brock. Geodude falls in a very short space of time. Onix proves a little more difficult, and I'm constantly wary of, but by the time it happened, well, if you can see past the pretty colours, we're almost at the end anyway. So, we defeated Brock, got ourselves the Boulder Badge, and now we can teach Bide, use Flash, and get out of Pewter City. Alright, so we head off to Route 3 and towards Mount Moon. Oh man, she's gone green again, and there are a lot of trainers here. But, you know, one ass-whipping montage later, and oh my god, Jigglypuffs are hideous in this game. It is staring into my soul like that. Oh my god. Anyway, Genghis kicked that Cosmic Horror in the face. We moved along. Most, if not all, the trains fell fairly easy. We're doing alright so far. First patch of grass to the route, and you know what that means. It's a wild Mankey. Yes. Poison it to whittle it down slowly, but then realised I don't have any antidotes. So we're going to rush north to the Mount Moon outpost, and successfully as well. We bought a Magikarp. At the time, I wasn't sure if I could justify it under the rules or not. I can't, so I'm going to be releasing that in a later update. Just in case though, well I had it, but I think we'll get rid of that. Here's the state of the party. Just before we deposit Magikarp into the PC, we'll head off and train a fair bit more, venture into Mount Moon. Had a good side, and its bad side. Too busy to grind. Notice that Mankey, which never actually got a nickname after all that, couldn't handle a critical hit from another wild Mankey. We've now got our first loss of the game, even though it wasn't with us for all that long. Well, we head on into Mount Moon, and then realise that this is actually going to start getting a bit more difficult. To the surprise of nobody, our first Pokemon for Mount Moon is a Zubat. I mean, Crobat in future generations is actually a surprisingly good choice. Good combination of speed, attack, and move pool, and like take quarter damage from fighting types, but this is Generation 1. Move pools are rubbish. Still, I'm sure we'll work something out eventually. And we've named it Quaffle, seeing as it flies and has goal, I guess, in the name. Just blame my old housemates for that. Back for some more training, get Quaffle to something better than 6, back in we go. Yep, I had a mild panic when I first saw this, but then realised that there's no steel type in Generation 1, so little bastard was able to take care of it pretty quickly. A couple of other trainers, a few basic items, nothing fancy. There was a rare candy in here, but I don't know if I can use them. And then we take... it's Team Rocket. Well, if you didn't hang out in the middle of a major thoroughfare, we wouldn't be bothered by you, would you? And no one who wants to be left alone. He's got a whole heap of leather and a whip. Anyway, we head further into the cave, and we basically bully a super nerd for his fossils. So we get ourselves the dome fossil, and now we head on out for the last of the slideshow updates. Exclusive yellow content, double battle, or not. Still, we make fast work of the predominantly poisonous team, and they'll be blasting off again. I have a feeling we'll be seeing them again soon, though. But for now, we've got freedom! We can collect our Route 4 Pokemon now, but we need a bit of healing, so we're going to head off to Cerulean City, find ourselves a Spearow that, well, Brontias just used Quick Attack on once. Critical hit, so no Pokemon from Route 4 for me. Oh well, we'll hit up the gym and see what we can manage challenge-wise. If you think that's a bad idea so soon, it probably is. Our levels need a bit of work, so Brontias managed alright, but I'm still a bit worried. That's only because of the type advantage, so we head off to train Route 24 via the Nugget... ass hat! We're not leveled up enough for this. Okay, maybe we are. Spearow had the highest level of his entire team. It's very strange. We investigate a house to the left of the Pokemon Center. It's a Bulbasaur, but we're not good enough to take care of it yet. Oh well, we'll come back later. Okay, up on the Nugget Bridge. Can we handle 5 in a row? Yep, we can. Carry on then. The junior trainer towards the end actually had a surprisingly powerful Mankey, but other than that, it was a breeze. Nugget Man wants us to be a part of Team Team Rocket, but the game defaults to having you say no anyway, so it's battle time! His Zubat put our Zubat on the ropes, but we fight back with, well, a change in Pokemon. Victory all round, but we did actually talk to a self-appointed rubbish trainer who offloaded his neglected Charmander onto us. That's going to be our Route 24 Pokemon then. Forgot to nickname it, but we'll name him once we get to the name rater in Lavender Town. So, on to Route 25, another lack of screenshots, and we find ourselves an Oddish, which isn't too bad. So little bastard was going to whittle it down, and he's got other ideas. No Pokemon from Route 24. We get to Bill's house after a few non-screen capped trainer battles and a couple of TMs. Brontias doesn't really know what's going on, so we flip a switch. Bill's back to normal, we get a ticket, la 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 la. You know how this is. We go down to the Cerulean Gym. 2 Thundershocks take down Staryu, and we fully heal in preparation for the level 21 Starmie, and this is where it gets nasty. Brontias has used Thunder Wave, but Starmie gets in with a Bubble Beam. A single Bubble Beam from full health gets us down from 48 to 16. We're not going to lose Brontias this early in the piece, so it's changing we will go. Bring out Ekbin, try and confuse it, which works. But because Misty's been pumping it with X defense and it's been using Harden of its own volition, its defense is actually getting kind of high, but Confusion isn't very effective either, so we swap again, this time bringing out Little Bastard who managed to learn Hyper Fang. A couple of lucky turns of Confusion and Paralysis later, and it fires off a Bubble Beam which takes him out in a single go from full health. We were so close, but a single Bubble Beam could take out any one of us, so it's time for Genghis to just get out there and kick some ass, and he does with a critical hit, and we have a victory, but not without its price. We have TM11, which is Bubble Beam, but it won't bring back Little Bastard. So this Cascade batch is for you. So that concludes the first 7 updates, which were done in slideshow only form, and now that you've watched this, you're ready to watch the rest of the episodes as they come out. Until next time, tally ho!